Good afternoon, everybody. Again, today is Friday, and as always, we're going to have our online class. As you can see, a few announcements first, and I'm going to switch to the screen so you can see it. And as you can see, we are starting to have the new layout, the new look and feel for all our programs. And you can download any version from aoox.com/12, or actually, if you want, you can do it from aoox.com directly. Either one is exactly the same. And then I want to point out that now this program has always been, as you know, very, very fast, but now it's extremely fast. You can see here that I'm moving, and it's really, really fast, okay? So it's much faster than before, which was a plus of this new layout. And the other announcement is that this Wednesday, we're going to have a special online class to explain about the Personal Financial Builder and the CRM Companion. Both programs have these marketing capabilities, marketing area, and I will explain the program and the advantages of using the marketing area and how you can benefit and how you can make money by promoting your other products or simply reselling the Personal Financial Builder as a financial mentoring. So we're going to start now and talking about our subject of today, which is the Task Manager. Task Manager in your programs is going to be in a different because you have icons. But remember that you can download the newest version now from aoox.com. And we have it here, Template Manager, okay? By the way, in the new layout, you have the live support right here in plain view. Plus, this is the helps and videos. And depending on your version, you're going to have here one button or two buttons. If you have the Ultimate, you will have two buttons. And if you have the Pro Plus or another version, you will have just one button to switch to the different level, advanced or expert, etc. So this is much simpler to manage, to navigate, and you're gonna love it. So I'm gonna go to the Template Manager and start. And remember that this is an advanced class. This is an advanced class, and while I starting talking for the basic stuff, essentially we're gonna have a very advanced class. Okay, so it's important that you understand that because you not necessarily are going to need to use those advanced knowledge, not all the time, obviously, but eventually, the important thing here, what I'm trying to achieve, is that you know that those tools exist, and when you need it, they will be available to you. And so the first thing that we're going to do is to analyze the basic buttons that we have here. Add template, duplicate template, delete template, find template, list selected templates, preview template, email. Again, in other versions, you might not have this button, depending what version do you have, or fax template or print template. Print is set up, and this is the e-signature button and the back button. Okay, so the back button, remember, you need to be in the templates tab to access the tab button. Okay, that is important. I'm going to also open the chat, but don't send me too much because, again, I won't be able to see it easily. Okay, but I will stop from time to time to receive your potentially your comments and anything that you would like to ask. Okay. All right. So let's do the first thing. The first thing is to add a template. The template that we have in the case of the credit repair are all of them here in the, and I'm saying the credit repair because you might be a user of our CRM software, in which case obviously you don't have any templates. You need to create your own templates. The templates are here. This is called the category field. Okay, so it says here, click the field below to select category. So we select the category that we want, like legal or miscellaneous. Here we have some videos, marketing videos that are unrelated to the software, but they are very useful. And also we have marketing materials here. The telemarketing is in automatically will be these scripts will be installed, or you will receive instructions on how to install these scripts. These scripts are to solicit uh, the um, the referrals from affiliate prospect like auto dealers, accountants, cellular stores, furniture stores, etc. And we have the legal with the sample contract, etc., etc. The important thing to understand is two things. First, the way to access the category. There are another way too, but this is one way, probably the most common way. And the second important thing is that the templates, the letters that are checked here are the ones that will be available in the dispute center. And the ones that are checked here will be available in the email and in the contact section. Okay, and so this is kind of not dispute related things, the left side, and the right side is the dispute related. But you can notice here in the tooltip that you have that information already. Okay, so it's nothing to remember, just simply know that by hovering you can have your answer. Well, the first thing that we're going to do is to add a template. And when we add a template, we have the subject of the template. That could be potentially an email, so that would be the subject of an email, and the body or text of that particular letter or email. And we have this notice here, pretty much saying that text inside double brackets will not be shown or print. So you see here we have this in double brackets, and this won't be shown or print. And if you want to proof of that, you can click the preview template right here, preview template, and you can see nothing because had been eliminated. It's invisible. It's hidden. It's not deleted, but it's hidden. In this particular case, I'm gonna just get rid of this, so we don't have it. Second thing is how you can add information. Obviously, you can add information by typing something. And if you want, and this is too small for you, we have this one, the magnifier, that will put this into a high resolution, or actually larger screen, so you can see better. But I want to explain about the shortcuts. That is the main way that you're going to add content to the templates. So for example, let's say that we put dear, and then maybe I would like to zoom in. So you see this icon here, zoom in a little bit here so you can see better. And then I put it there, and I want to merge the name of the contact, whether I'm going to send an email, I'm going to use it as an email, or I'm going to print it, I'm going to fax it, whatever is the case. I want to merge. The name is merge. I want to merge the information from the contact or client, prospect, lead, affiliate, etc. into this letter. To do that, I will go to the tab merge symbols. Okay, and here I have different categories for those symbols, and if I zoom out, you can see them all. Okay, but I'm gonna use just the basic ones right now, and I'm gonna put just the name. So I put the cursor in the position that I want to appear the merge symbol, and here click to select. I click on it and select the field that I want to put the symbol that will be replaced at time of printing or emailing or merging, etc. Okay, so I have this symbol. So this symbol will be replaced by the name of the person. Then I have the body of the letter. Okay, so I have to write something here, And then I have the end, and the end could include the fields from the agent's field or from the company's field, or both. So for example, in this particular case, I can introduce a name, which in this case I only have agent there. I'm going to put the name, and I'm going to put just that phone number. Probably I don't even have the phone number, and I'm going to put the address of the company. I don't even believe, to be honest, that I have that. But we will see. We will see when I click a preview template, okay? So yeah, as I said, I only have the agent. I can add some text into the company, so we have something meaningful that will be really, really fast. So I can do it even right now, okay? And I'm going to go to the setup and show you where those items for the company are coming from, okay? They're coming from here. And then also I can enter here phone number, for example, okay? I can enter a phone number, and I can put a name. And in this case, when you update that, you need to get out and get back into the program to update the variables. So once I do that, I have the same template here, and I can do a preview. I can do a preview with this little icon, or I can do a preview here. The beauty of the icon here is that I can do it whether I'm in this tab or in a different tab. And I'm gonna do a preview, and then now I can see the name of the company that I had in the company, the phone number, name, whatever. Okay, so I hope that you know how to do a merging, and of course that can be combined and make it very, very complex. Another thing is how to duplicate. Well, first of all, we should have put a name here. So I'm gonna put test 1. And also I can change the category where it's going to be. So let's put it into, actually let me create a category for this. I'm gonna go to the categories tab, and I'm going to add a category, okay? I'm adding a category. I'm in the categories tab. I'm adding a category, and I'm gonna put online class. Okay, that will be our category. So I created that, you see, automatically I have this, and I have a new empty, because this is empty, a new empty template, which I can use or not. In this case, I have the other one, which I want to use, this one. Okay, by the way, this is navigation bar, and here is how you move from template to template. If you have several selected, not that you have to do that, because that's why we have a find button, but it's very useful that you understand that in this case we have 3 selected, and from those 3 selected we are in the number 2. And in this one I'm going to assign to the, change it from here to online class. Okay, the moment that I assign, I click, I have it added here. Okay, so and I have the other one that is blank, which I can delete or leave it there for later use, but this is the one that we're working on. Second thing, I return to the template. By the way, I can save this category to a shortcut here. So by clicking Shift, I will be saving, you see, the online class. And in order to go back to online class and selecting them all, I will only have to click this button. In other words, let's say that I'm here in this one, in our previous one, and I want to go here. Sometimes it's easier if you have a selection of categories that you like to go with these. You can simply click on it, go there, and on top of going there, you have selected all the templates that that belongs to the category. And this is important because you can know, for example, that your last one is the last one that you did is, in this particular case, is the blank one. So 2 out of 2. The first one is, this is the first one that we did. So this is in the creation order. Okay, so now I'm going to try to duplicate this template. And this is very useful because you can duplicate the templates that we have and create your own, modifying, but at the same time preserving the ones that we provide in case that you make a huge mistake and you want to go back. Well, it's a good idea to be able to. So I'm going to click duplicate. Okay, and this is what I have. Duplicate here between double brackets. If you remember, this double bracket won't show, so we are protected that this won't show. By the way, here another use of the double brackets. There are many uses, but you know, it's explaining yourself the use of the template. Okay, whether it is in the subject, which many times I use in the subject, or even at the beginning of the template or at the end. But at the beginning of the template, obviously you're going to see it easier. So you can say, I'm explaining how to use this template. Okay, so you can explain here to yourself, not to someone else, because this will be invisible once you print it or email it, etc. But at least you can know what is, you know, very particular variations for a template, which gives you this incredible control on your templates. Okay, so now that we know that, obviously this is self-explanatory. Delete template, but it will delete the template, right? Or delete more than one template, and that is of course dangerous if you delete more than one, well, without knowing, but it's useful. Find template is obviously very important. Let's say that I put here DNA, so I'm gonna put something. I'm gonna look for the word DNA that I know that it exists, and I'm going to look in the subject. I can look in the subject and in the body, or I can look only in the category. So I can do pretty much look everywhere, depending on the case. The subject usually the most useful, and also here you can see I can select from all, or I can select from selected. So if I do from selected, that means that I will be selecting only from these 3, which I'm going to be blank. I don't have anything saying DNA, but from all, oh, nothing. So I typed DNA. No, oh, maybe I don't have it in. I have it in the category, but I don't have it here. So I'm gonna look for something different. I'm gonna look for free. Yeah, I thought that I had it in the template, but I don't. So for free, you see that we have selected 9, and with the word free in the subject. Okay, word free in the subject. That's what we have here. And I can click list selected template to have the list divided by category. So you can see, then I can select either the category by clicking the category, or I can select the template and go to the template. I can go either to the category, or I can go to the template by clicking go. As you can see, some of these screens still have the old look and feel, and all those will be changed eventually, and you will have a unified look and feel. But believe me, it takes a lot of work to change these layouts. Okay, so now just to prove my my shortcut, I'm gonna go to categories online. Boom! With one click, I'm able to go back with this. Okay, so this is these shortcuts are very useful if you know how to use them properly. Okay, so now these are pretty much self-explanatory, but for those of you that have the higher versions, I want to explain a couple of things. One is that you can send one template from here or to a group of people. If it was a group of people, when you click on it, if you're going to send only one, you will click instant, and then it will take you there to the instant. It will ask what is the agent that you want to pretty much act on behalf of this agent, and that will be related to the merging fields, or can be self. Okay, and I don't have an account, so that's why it's giving me error here. But that's okay because I don't have an account created since it wasn't the next Friday is going to be related to the email system, so we will talk about all that. Well, we have this new look for the instant email and also for the regular email. So here, well, this is to send one email, and that's okay. If I want to send a group of emails, okay, in that case, I need to click normal because the normal is the only one that can send several, okay. So here I have current or selected. I have 101 contacts selected. So in that case, I will need to click selected, and depending what I want to send, either if it is a text or is a rich text, or is an auto. I will explain the auto in a little while. I will explain the auto, probably not um, uh, profoundly because we're going to have that in the email, but I will explain what is the difference. Or if I want to create a PDF, usually you don't want to create a PDF and on this amount, it will take a lot of time. So this number. So you will either will select a text or rich text, and click continue, and that will create in the outbox of the email system 101 emails or less. That will be less if you have some contacts without emails. And if you have all contacts with emails, then it will create 101 emails, and all of them will be in the outbox of the email system. If I go to the email system now, well, I didn't do it, but if I go to the email system now, that will be Control 5, okay? Or you can get out and you can get out and go with one of the buttons. But if I go, of course, it's not there, but it's in the outbox, okay? So that's that will be in the show to send, which is our outbox box. All right. So now, once we know that we can email or fax or print is the most common. So when you need to, by the way, there is not a trick, but actually a tool. When you are going to print and you want to create a PDF, this is the button that you will click for that, for this particular email, and then you will click continue. The program will ask you what is the name of that particular PDF, whatever, and you can change it to a different destination. The default is whatever you are, whatever is your program in the PDF directory, and then you click on it and it will save it as a PDF. So that means, and with the name that you selected, so that means that can be seen through Acrobat, and it lets you use see it. So it offers you to see it, not necessarily that you need to do it, but offers you to see it, okay? So fine, so I'm gonna close this, and as you can see, it merged the data with the current contact. This is the current contact. If we want to go to a different contact, we come from a different contact, or we can move from here, okay? Or simply, as I said, you come from a different contact in the contact area and come to the template manager, and that will be the contact selected. But also here is possible, especially possible when you have just a few clients that you want to do something, send a letter, a special letter or something, even though it's possible to send these letters from the outside. And I'm going to show you how. And for example, first of all, remember our requisite, which is marking the letters that I want to have available in the main area. I'm going to click back. And here, in this field, you see I will have the list of all the templates that I have checked in the check mark at the left. In this case, only one. So I can email from here without having to go to the template manager. So these are the same templates, okay, same templates, and I can email them here. Depending on the level, this field is going to be a little bit up or down, but essentially, this is the template field. Is you can click and send an email. There are even a functionality that we call quick email, so it's possible to do that even in lower versions, to send as a quick email without having a full-fledged email system. Okay, so now this one I'll explain just a little bit. Well, let's explain it now. This is related to the e-signature features. The way it works is like this. We don't want to send a contract or something automatically. That would be really, it wouldn't be versatile enough. It wouldn't be you know, a rich feature the way we want it to be. So because of that, what we do with this button is to create the PDF and send and open the e-sign service. So we have different e-sign service that are included in the system, and you can see them in the setup. So okay, so we have the setup here. You might have it as an icon in a different way, okay? And I'm gonna click this button because it's gonna take me directly to the agent privileges area, okay? The red button, you can see that in the tooltip. I can do it also by clicking here, but I'm gonna do it by clicking here because it takes me directly. And here we have a tab, okay, that it says e-sign, and then you will select the service. Personally, I like EchoSign because it has the ability to put these yellow arrows in the right places pretty much all the time. So I like that feature. So here you will put the username and password that you as a user have for this EchoSign. What is important to understand here that if you have more than one user, more than one agent, more than one employee on this side, each one can have a different username and password, because it's common that you have different access for the program at different levels in DocuSign, EchoSign, etc. So by putting the username and password is going to be only yours. So when you're using the program, those username and password will be available in the template manager. Okay, they will be available here, username and password. Okay, and as you can see, the icon changed from DocuSign to EchoSign, which is part of the Adobe group, and it's changed the icon, so you know that the one that you're using, as a matter of fact, one agent could be using DocuSign, a different agent could be using Adobe. And this is the username and password in case that you need to log in. Usually when you click on it, because you have it in your cookies, it's going to open automatically, but it might not be true depending, and in that case you have your username and password based on your agent, being agent, and your particular service. Okay, and here what we have is the name of the recipient and his email. Okay, which is the one from, in this case, from Andrew. And this is important because when you open, for example, DocuSign, I'm familiar with all these two, not too much, but a little bit. And so when you open the DocuSign, it will ask you to whom you want to send it. And then you have the ability to put the name and email with this just by copying. And the program will create, the template manager will create the PDF that you can attach, but with the advantage that you can make changes into the service. If we were sending directly the template or contract, well, they wouldn't have any variations, even though they could merge appropriately, but it wouldn't have any changes. With this, you can have changes like putting these yellow arrows and maybe some kind of important thing, highlighting, etc., etc. Okay, so this is the way this thing works. It's very simple. Actually, when you have the service and you start using it, you'll see that actually takes more time to explain it than to use it. Okay, so now I'm going to explain about the spinner. The spinners, of course, now we are entering into this advanced thing. Actually, before that, I just want to explain a little bit of this. I mean, this is very simple to use, all these buttons, but it would be nice to know. This is the action button that you see everywhere in the program, and it acts differently based on the content. So, for example, if I have here, let's say, I have here the link of this webinar, and I click this with the cursor inside, inside the link, it will open this URL. If I had an email, it will send an email. Usually it's used mostly in the templates, mostly to verify that you have the right link. So that in other words, that you didn't write the link incorrectly. By the way, notice that I put HTTP and not only www. This is important because if you put only W, the system, when it sends the email, let's say that this will become an email at some point and not a letter. If it was a letter, it doesn't matter, obviously. But if it was an email, the system converts in this thing to a real link with that people can click on their emails. If you don't put the HTTP, it won't be converted. So that is important that you put the whole thing. So if I click here right now and ask me if I want external or internal, I'm gonna do it internally so you can see it. So you see we're going now into this into the webinar, and it's opening, and probably it's going to take a long because of the video. Oh, well, no, actually it opens, so I will need to click here, etc. So that's fine. So it did what it's supposed to do, okay? And so that's a nice way to verify that your links, the links that you are creating for your clients, are okay. Another little thing here and there is these things that can change the color of the highlighted text. Sometimes you want to highlight something in a color. There are many ways to do this, but this is kind of convenient. That's the way I see it. It's convenient. You can do it also here in the format. Okay, you can go in the format and say set color and put a color. But obviously this takes longer than if you click the button. So this is pure convenience. Okay, so now we have a couple of buttons here. This is the copy this to the Windows clipboard. So I copy this for whatever reason. I want to put it somewhere else, and I want to copy by clicking the C button. This is just the same thing to display. This is mostly if you have an HTML code here and you want to display it into a browser, you can click this button to display, but also you can click this tab. This tab will actually translate, if you will, the code that you have here in HTML and visualize it. And we can see a little bit later how we can achieve that in one of the tools that we have here. We have web tools. So we'll see that a little bit later. And here is, this is to paste, that you have something in your Windows clipboard and you want to paste it here. That would be equivalent to grabbing all here and right-clicking and doing paste. But by doing it this way, it's only one click. And here is to increase the size or decrease the size of the fonts. So you see, so this one is kind of a 12. I like this size. This is kind of the normal size that people write, but I like this size, and you can do it even larger than that. And this one is interesting. This is a dictionary and thesaurus. And if you highlight a word and click this, you can be redirected to a dictionary and thesaurus and well, see the meaning. Sometimes we are in doubt of what we're saying is correct or not. So that way we can be sure and probably even found a synonym or something that we can use instead. So this is kind of a useful. Then these two buttons, simply when you have a very long, for example, you have a very long, let me go to the legal, like for example, service contract sample. So very long email or template, you see we can go to the end of it or to the beginning of it without having to scroll with this. As I always say that I'm a lazy user, but I'm not a lazy programmer. So I try to pretty much provide with all your needs and anticipate your needs and make it, if possible, one click only. Here we can count. Okay, we can count how many letters we have in a particular paragraph, in the paragraph that we add. So I'm putting myself in that paragraph, You see, 70 letters. This is important when you're doing promotions, Google, etc., where you have a limited number of letters and you want to obviously verify. And there are other places in the program that are more appropriate than the template manager to do that, but it's only available in the ultimate version, our articles and blog manager, and that will be much more developed. But this is a simple way. Okay, so I'm going to use again the shortcut here, right? And you can see this is very, very convenient. We already used it twice. Very convenient to go to jump from different categories with this. Okay, so now we're gonna see other options here. We have here, for example, this button, which is a remove style, and that is when, especially when you copy from Word or maybe from the internet, you're gonna have certain fonts that are a little bit weird, and that is because it has those have special codes that make modifications to the way they can be seen. So pretty much you're going to have weird things, and sometimes even colors and stuff that you don't want. And this will remove all that. Okay, so look at this. I remove all that. I can even the size of the font, so it will be reduced to the default size, which is this one. But I can put it back by clicking the button. And now, and finally, these two, before I start talking about the spinners, which is a very advanced feature, I'm gonna say this is to add the double brackets to the current paragraph, and this is to delete it. So what happened with this is this: in some cases you may have a letter with different paragraphs. For example, I'm gonna put here first one, okay, and I'm gonna put exactly the same here. I'm gonna put the second one, and the reason is that, for example, well, but obviously. Let me put here second, because otherwise it will make sense. First. Okay. So what happened is this. Let's say that you have all of them with double brackets. So this is a very convenient way to add double brackets. I hope that you agree. Instead of having to go to the beginning, put in the bracket, going to the end, put in the bracket, the whole paragraph can be marked, if you will, or tagged with these special things that will make them invisible. So I'm going to click in the preview, and as you can see, nothing is there. Okay, take in consideration always when you do this, take in consideration the blank spaces. So in other words, if you don't want to have blank spaces, you have it without spaces and things like that. So you don't use spaces. But in any event, the point here is you might have a letter with different paragraphs that could be appropriate to different reasons. And I'm not talking about disputes, because that would be automatic, and it wouldn't be applicable to this, but maybe to marketing letters or letters of contract or services that you provide to your client, and you want to include or exclude a particular paragraph, and you do that by using the double brackets. So in this case, if I want to reveal the second bracket, I will put delete. That's it. And now this paragraph is visible, and it wasn't. Okay, so I explained all that, and we're going to start talking about the spinner. The spinner is a very important thing that you see automatically in all these kind of letters. So you can see it here. You can see it here. All these things in red are spinners. I'm going to put it in a little bit bigger, okay? But I'm going to explain how you can create your own spinners and how do they work, okay? And going back here. Okay, first thing to do a spinner. The spinner button has two functionalities. You can see we have here shift click to paste the code in cursor inside field, and that will be with shift. And then we have other options. Shift control to expand or collapse the label, and shift control, this is to the other options are really to do a test, because sometimes it becomes a little confusing visually, and so you just read them, and because it's very easy to use that part. So let me show you how to, when I click with shift, for example. So I'm going to press shift, and click. And you see the program entered the basic symbols for a spinner. So I'm gonna put here 1, 2. I'm gonna put another bar to say 3. I'm gonna put another bar, another bar to say 4. Okay, so let me clarify this. We see that we don't have bars here or at the end. We only have the curly brackets, and we have 4 options, right? We have 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4, with bars in between. That means that the program will automatically, at random, will select one of these words at time of printing or a time of previewing even. So I'm going to click preview, okay, and I see 1. It could have been 4, but it said 1. So I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to click preview again. It says 4. Okay, great. And now I'm going to click again. So we have 24%. It's again 4. No problem. It's okay. 2. Okay. So that means that you can create your own spinners with this. Now let's say that I want to create a spinner based on a word. So maybe I'm gonna put the word imagine. So I'm gonna put this word. I'm gonna highlight it. Okay, I double clicked on it, but I can highlight it in another way, right? Simply by highlighting the word, and then I can click spinner without shift. In that case, I'm going to have an option here, a pop-up, that is going to give me possible synonyms and even some antonyms, because in some cases it could be appropriate if I put something. And I can say, for example, imagine and vision is okay, so I have to omit the ones that I don't like. I don't know, visualize could be, etc. So, but another thing that is important, I'm gonna omit practically all of them, so make it easy for me, and also to make it short when we are evaluating. This is a word that has a lot of options, as you can see. And but what I want to show, for example, if I put, for example, to visualize, so I can put a modifier to this word or any word, and I can put a modifier as well. Antonyms could be appropriate in some cases if I use a modifier like not, and then make it work. Then I will click insert. Okay, so I have 4 options. I can have unlimited, but I can have 4 options, and I can even add my own, by simply typing. But I'm gonna insert, and then I have imagine, envision, fancy, and to visualize. Okay. Notice that this entered with the original font and not the font that we modified. But anyways, imagine, envision, fancy, to visualize. So when we do a preview, we have that. If I do another one, I will have something different. Okay. Now, this curly brackets is what we call level 1. We can have up to 3 levels of enclosures. And that means the following. Imagine this scenario. Okay, let's say that I put 2 here, and I say something first, then this. Okay, so here I have this option, and then I'm going to have another option. So I'm putting a bar. I can put it in. I'm putting a space because after a word I will put a space, right? And then I will type something like, for example, or something else. And this something else, let's say that it has other options here that are correct. Okay, I'm gonna close this. I need to put a space. I'm gonna close this with a double brackets. So now I have a second level spinner, and this will grab either this section or this section, and from if it picks this section, it's gonna pick one of these, and if it picks this section, it's gonna pick one of these. Okay, very powerful to do your reasons for the disputes. This is the way that you can make it really convoluted, that looks like a real person typing. It could be long, and it could be, some could be long, some could be short. You know, this is not trivial. This is not trivial in the sense that, you know, if you put 3 levels like some of our clients do, well, it gets confusing sometimes, to be honest. But you know, the program is going to be fine. So, for example, I say something first, then 1. So did exactly that. Picked the first option, and from the first option, the program selected the word 1. So I'm gonna do it again. Okay, same thing. That's fine. Okay, now is same side. Remember that we have 50% here, and we have 20%, 25% here. So we have number 2, but on the first side. And oh, or something else. Yeah, that one was okay. Yeah, or something else fancy. So that's it. This is the second side, and it picked a word from this one, which was fancy. Okay, so this is the way. 3 will be the same, but you know, it's going to be a little bit more confusing. I hope that is not too much, because this is so powerful, as opposed to any other system that you see out there, that you send the same letters over and over and over. This one allows you to pretty much be automatic. We have it in our letters, but we encourage you to modify our letters, make it more personal, more different. Especially the reasons can also be modified with a spinner, and basically you can have a very, very interesting reason that will be changing millions of times very quickly. By the way, here only we have 2 times 4 times 4. So actually it's a bunch in only nothing, in only 1 paragraph. Okay, so I hope that this part is fine. We have navigation, we have the theme, all this part is okay. Now, before we go to the other tabs and explain that, even if it is briefly, but there are substantially 2 or 3 that are very important. I want to show you this one. This is extremely important, and I'm going to explain this in detail in the email class of next week that is related to emails. But this is when you put the auto button here, it will add the auto word between double brackets, which means that it's invisible. But at the same time, that means that the system will try to use the automatic email system. There is a system where you won't get blocked. Like if you are blacklisted or something, you can be back in 5 minutes and things like that. And it's very simple to use. I'm going to tell you what it is, the coordinates to set up this, but you have to do it. I will explain a little more next week. But it's in the setup. Okay, so I'm going to click back. I'm going to click setup here. I'm going to click setup here. And in the internet area here, okay, where it says auto messenger emails, essentially this is to be used by the auto messenger, but it's also possible to use it by the template manager. Most most important use is the auto messenger. So the instructions are here. So the instructions are simple, very short, and so if you read it, if you don't understand something after you read them, you can contact our support department for more information. And okay, so I'm going to go back to the template manager. Remember that let me point out this. I'm going to try to do it every class. In the higher versions, like the Pro Plus and the Ultimate, you have the ability to jump. You have shortcuts to go to different places. Most importantly, to go to the email system, to go to the invoice, agenda, and very important too, and the context. Well, all of them are important, and also the control 4, which is the quick find. I didn't do it now. I use the buttons, but definitely, if I want to go to the email system, I can click control 5, be in a fraction of a second. Especially now that this is ultra fast because of the new layout, we have eliminated a bunch of weight on graphics. So now it's really, really fast, you see. And so by all means, use these. Do it even manually until you learn which ones are which. Okay, meaning manually means that you click on the scripts and then you say, oh, go to email system. Okay, boom, you're here, and then from here go to the template. So it's the same as clicking Control 2 or Control 5, but until you learn, you can use the manual stuff. So now we have a bunch of tabs here, and some of them very, very interesting. These are, it's kind of in the language of FileMaker, which is the language used to program this software. Well, it doesn't highlight like in other software, like in a real text word processor, for example. So we have this tool where you can, let's say that I'm going to put here the word second, and it's going to pretty much highlight. You see second and second is highlighting the words here. So it's not a real find that is going to jump with the cursor. Unfortunately, that is not possible, but at least you have the second best thing, which is that. Then this one is extremely useful, the find and replace. Find and replace, you can do it for one email, for one template, or for all the templates. And let's say I'm going to put the word here second. I'm going to click here second, and I'm going to put here the word third. So third. Okay, so what I have here is a word, right? Second, third, from, to. And then I click replace, and I can say, okay, do it for the body, do it for the subject, or do it for both, body and subject. Okay, I'm gonna do it for the subject, and then I can do it for the current template, or I can do it for selected templates. If you remember, I had 3 templates selected, but it doesn't matter. Right now, I'm gonna click the current. If you don't remember what you have and whatever, just click cancel. And so I'm gonna do it, and it didn't change for some reason. Maybe I wrote the thing wrong. Oh yeah, I have a bar here, that's why. Okay, so I say body, current, third. Okay, and notice that it's case sensitive. Okay, so it's not gonna do it for all. It's gonna do it only for the ones that are really the same. Okay, so here we have the same thing, add brackets to paragraph and delete brackets, so I'm not going to explain it. We have it here. This is a repetition for those of you that maybe don't see this button, or maybe they have a shorter screen, okay, and maybe you are seeing only up to here, and then you need to scroll, and this could be more convenient instead of going to the buttons. That is possible. Another interesting feature is encrypt templates. So maybe you have a personal template letter or something that you don't want all your employees to see. Whatever is the case, you can encrypt the template, okay? And only you or an administrator can decrypt it. So it's based on being you. The one that sign up with your password will be able to unencrypt this with one click. But if someone else enters, well, it won't be able to decrypt it unless it's an administrator. If it's an administrator, cannot unencrypt it, but he can see it. Okay, cannot unencrypt it because otherwise will be unencrypted after that. And so you don't want to change the encryption person, but you can see it if you're an administrator. Okay, so this is useful in many cases. This is to select the current template. Okay, this is also useful in many cases that you want to be sure, for example, doing a find and replace, and you want to be sure that only this template will be selected. Right now we have 3, okay? So for many other reasons, you want to be sure you select this one, and only this one will be selected. Okay, so a way to isolate this template. Copy template ID to the clipboard. This is also useful because you don't see the ID, but when you send templates or letters or emails based on templates, what happens is that the template will be logged here in the history. Okay, I came back to the main screen. And then it will be logged history, and it will have also the ID. And not only will have the ID, but also will be possible. I'm going to put even a little bit of garbage here because uh, in other levels, you can have the action button, and the action button can take you from the ID to the template. So in other words, you can copy the template and do a find. You can do a couple of things that where the ID might be necessary. So that's why this option. And this is an option that basically I wouldn't advise to use it to send a template to a cellular, even though it's possible, but it requires a service, and you don't need a service to communicate with cellulars with our new system. You have it. Let me go back again. You have it in well, not on this level, but you have it on this level. You have it here, a way to send messages and stuff to your client. So it's kind of an old option that it was there, but not a good idea. You're going to have too much text or something. So, but it's here. There has its own uses. Categories, we covered that already. The only one that we didn't cover is modify category. With this one, you can either duplicate the category and or rename a category. Usually you want to rename it for whatever reason. So I'm going to put online class 1, and I can rename it for the current template or for the whole category. So I'm going to do it for the whole category, and as you can see, now I have online class 1. Very easy. Merge symbols, we covered this before. By the way, here we have 5 merge symbols that are unique in the sense that it won't be changing, so to speak. It's whatever you put here. So this will be whatever I enter here. And so I can put it anywhere in the page, on the page, like this one, you see, like this one. And then when I do the preview, you see, so this is useful when you have a special texts and stuff that you want to be that you can introduce with these. I have it, for example, at the bottom of my emails to say if you don't want to receive this anymore, put suspend and stuff like that. So I have it with this, and the reason is that if I want to change this text in the future, I only have to change it in one place, and I know that all the templates, whether I have 1 or 1,000, will be changed as appropriate pretty much by changing this field. Okay, so this field is not related to one contact, it's related to 5 fields that you can have whatever. Usually disclosures or things of that nature are very appropriate for this kind of a signatures, but at the same time the signature is not even important enough to put it here. Maybe a disclosure would be that you can change later. Shortcuts. These shortcuts, as opposed to the shortcuts in the categories, these shortcuts are shortcuts for the templates. So here, in order to set, you're going to click here. You can change the text here, so you can put something else, right? So you can put something else. You can put something here and still be valid. And that means that, for example, I'm here in the duplicate, right? And I click go, and it goes to this one. Or if I want to email it to Andrew, I will click email. Very useful, you see? And again, I don't have any account set up, otherwise I will have this one automatically set to me, but I don't have any. So you see, it created that email and merged with all the things, with the spinner, with everything, with one click. Very powerful stuff to be able to do it from this shortcut. Format, more or less what the name implies. Okay, so you can say, okay, I'm gonna put Verdana. Okay, so I click, now I have Verdana. I'm gonna put size 18, and I'm gonna, and I can also reformat to a certain number of records, which is popular when you're doing emails and stuff. You know, they're gonna reformat to a certain number. Let's put a lower number here. So just for you to see, I'm gonna put a 30 something, okay? And I have this, and probably you have received emails that looks like this, and this is to make it more legible in smartphones and stuff. But you know, I personally try not to use that. I try to assume that a person is using a real email system. Okay, so these are formats. You have the duplicates of that practically here, but this could be convenient for one-click thing. Now we have the web tools. Well, web tools is a little bit complex matter here, but let me try to simplify it as much as possible. We have a way here to post. You will need to have in the setup your information. You have one of the higher versions. You have your progress portals, your client and affiliate portals. So the same thing that you use for your client and affiliate portals will be used for this area. In other words, you don't need to set it up differently. And the way it works is like this. I cannot do it because I don't have it right now. I might be able to do it. I don't know. Maybe I can do it. I don't know if I can. Okay, so I'm there, and so basically you create a letter, right? You create a letter. Usually you're not going to have spinners or anything like that. I mean, you might, but you're not going to have it because that really doesn't make sense for this purpose. And then you can send this template to your website. Okay, so you can send it, and I'm going to put, for example, test one, put online class.html. Okay, I'm going to eliminate this, doesn't make sense. And I'm going to put online class HTML. And then I can create, you see, I can convert and upload with one click. So I can convert this letter into HTML and upload it. Okay, and that's it, pretty much. Now you can view it. So it came into another, but I'm going to copy here into another monitor, okay? And I'm going to copy here. So this will be, in this particular case, of course, in this particular case, it will be the, give me a second so I can put back what it was lost. And so in this particular case, I can see this page from here internally, okay? So again, these things didn't make sense, especially for HTML and this. So you need to create a letter. But what is important is that the program converted, and even this one became a link, as I said before, right? Converted the letter into an HTML page. So what is the reason for that? What is the purpose? The purpose is manifold, but most importantly is that instead of having a very, very long email that will be rejected by most spammers, spamming systems. You can have a long letter that you have created here, where you explain your offer, your service, whatever, and then you send a small email saying, please read this. And this is the email. When people click on this, they're gonna see the other page. But the beauty is that you can have created that page pretty much with one click, as I did, just one click. Another thing is this one. This is also important. So let me show you how it works. I'm going to use the duplicate here, and I'm going to put, okay, this is a short letter that I intend to change into HTML. Okay, but I'm going to put something in bold. I'm going to put a little bit of a size here, and I'm going to put this short letter. I'm going to put it in bold, and this one I'm going to put it in red. Okay, so I have this very short letter, and I'm going to change this template to HTML. Okay, so I'm clicking on it, and the program created another letter, and I have it right here, you see? So now this is HTML text, and this is HTML text. So this is the view of HTML text right here, HTML. This is your letter that I intend to change into HTML, okay? And this is the code, but this is not the same. So I didn't overwrite the original template is here, okay? And this is the one, this is what is called rich text. So in other words, if you email this, your client will receive the bold and the red because it's a rich text, and our system will convert the text, the rich text, into a MIME email for text and for HTML. But also, in some cases, you want to either because you're going to add it to your website or whatever reason, you need to convert into HTML. So that will be very easy. This FTP upload is a way to upload to your files, usually images. And why? Well, because you may have, in the HTML code, you may have an image of some kind, and you need to upload that image from your computer to your server. So this must be self-explanatory for you, otherwise the instructions are here, but this could be and should be self-explanatory. And this one, you enter your domain and the initial directory, which usually is images. Look for the image that you want and FTP the files. And so it's even, you can put the whole folder. You can import the whole folder and put it into your website, into your domain. Again, this is a very advanced feature. Obviously, this is not something that you want to take lightly. This is insert enter between carets, and the reason is because sometimes you may have a code that you receive somewhere that looks like this. I'm sure that you have seen that many times, and then you want to clarify it, you see, make it clear. So this is a way. Another feature that we have is to check the template with Spam Assassin. So if you have the email system, even if you don't have it, that's okay. But if you have an email system, the program will send your template to Spam Assassin, and Spam Assassin will respond to you saying what is the points that you have in spamming. And if it's more, they explain in the email. If it's more than a certain number, well, your email has all the chances not to pass, or vice versa, to pass the spam filters in other email system. Okay. Well, then we have. I'm gonna leave this for the last one, just in case that you are tired. But this one is so important that I want to say this one, and then I'm gonna cover this one briefly. And well, basically here in the context related tab, we have find context, pretty much self-explanatory. Let's say that you want to have here a person that you want to, so I'm gonna look for Portia, and I'm gonna click on it, and I have it here. If I had more than one, the program will select both or whatever, and so you can select one of them. And so that way, I'm selecting this, and I can use now the templates to send an email or to work with this particular person for whatever reason. So this is find context. Show list and select the context. How many are in the group? So if it was a group, maybe that I was looking for a group of clients, and you have it classified in your related to, or maybe in your keywords, and you have active clients, you can look for active clients and have the list right here. Print contact envelope, self-explanatory to print an envelope based on this contact. And again, this is not for the disputes. This is not because we have that system integrated and automatically. This is to do an envelope for a particular contact, for a real mail, snail mail letter that you want to send. Well, this will be the envelope. And this is probably the most important one. Find contacts that receive template. So if you remember, a couple of minutes ago, I was explaining that when a template is used, whether it is from the outside or from the email system or a few other places, is being logged into the history tab outside the program. Okay, so let me show you that again. Right here in the history tab, it will be logged. As a matter of fact, this one was logged when we did the PDF. Okay, so this one, if I put the cursor in the number and I click the action button, it will go to that one. Okay, but this is the opposite. This is the opposite. This is that if I let's say here we have selected how many. Let me select all the contacts here. Okay, so I selected all the contacts. You see, I have 101 selected. Total 101. 101 selected. Okay, now from the template, I click Contacts Related tab, and then I click Find Contacts that receive the template, and I'm in the template that has some contacts. I click on it, and I can select from selected contacts, which could be extremely useful to do a subset, or omit from selected contacts. So maybe I don't want to. Let's say that I have a bunch of people, a list that I purchased or whatever, and I have it mixed with certain people that I already sent a template. I don't want to resend the template to the same people, so I want to omit that template from my groups. So I have the big group. I can omit it from that group. But in this case, I'm going to use select from all contacts. Okay, that's it. I have one, and it's this one. But it could have been many, and real useful. And again, if I do the omit, so now I have 101 selected, right? 101, and I omit from selected contacts. Now I have 100 because the other one had been omitted. In order to see it, well, probably there are a few ways, but probably I would like to see show records, show omitted only, in which case we'll do the reverse. Okay, now this is going to be the last thing for those of you that are tired. And well, by the way, you can also link. This is kind of important. Sometimes, you can have a letter that is specifically, so it's personal in nature, usually, or very specific to a person. And so in that way, you can, if I'm doing a letter like this one, that it was specific to Portia, I can link it to Portia, okay? And I can do it for all the letters selected or for the current, or usually the current. And so now what happens is that I can go to that person. So I can do, and not only that, it happens that when I come from that person, it's selected automatically. So for example, I'm going to be here in a different letter, which is not linked. All right. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to the template manager from Portia. Okay, I have Portia here, and I'm going to go to the template manager. You see, and the program selected all the templates. Not only this one, in this case it's only one, but it could be more than one. It will select all the templates that are linked to that particular contact. Very useful when you have certain marketing letters or certain contracts. You could manage that by having a category and have that category, which is essentially a group, and have that category for that person, but maybe not. Maybe you have a contracts category, and then you have this trick here. You can link it to the person, and that's it. So finally, we come to the scannable forms. Well, this is certainly one of the most advanced and unique features. Might not be even for you, but in any event, is interesting. At least it's my obligation to tell what to do or what it does. And in this case, I added. You can add unlimited, right, by clicking here, and then you can add unlimited forms. In this particular case, I copied pretty much by pasting. I have it in my Windows clipboard, and I pasted this form, okay? And this is Western Union form, right? And the beauty of this is that you can merge even data from your client directly into the form. And also you can type. For example, here we have first name and last name, okay? So I can put my cursor here, click enter, becomes white, blank, and I'm gonna click first name, all right? Now I click outside, and I'm gonna click here in last name, and I'm going to look for the last name button. I have it in Zoom, that's why you don't see everything. So I have those two. Now I can type something. So I can manually put there 1,000. Okay, so I can mix and match, do this, do that, and which is ideal, for example, for this case. I use it for this case, for those rare cases when people actually pay with Western Union, send the money with Western Union. I have it already filled in and all that, and I only need to change, the control number, which I can put in a user-defined field and make it appear automatically, and I can put the amount either manually or I can have it in another user-defined field. Whatever is the case, when you have this setup, all these fields, you have fields from my company, from agent, from the contact basically, and from extra fields that we'll explain one of these online classes. And you can save it and back, okay, or simply save, and then we can preview it. When we preview it, as you can see, in this case, it says Porsche Marfan. Probably I put the cursor too low. Well, I can put it up. There's no problem. I can change it. No big deal. I can simply delete one. I could delete one line here. Okay. I don't know if I want to do that, but yeah, no problem. So I do a preview. Okay, so now I have it correctly, and even there is an adjustment that I can do to be precise, which is right here. Okay, I can move it a little bit, scroll down the text a little bit, kind of a minute thing. And okay, so I have it perfectly now, and then I can either print both things together, or I can print without the image, which usually is a very nice option. In other words, I can print on the actual form. So I have the form, I put it in the printer, print without image, or print without the text, which in this case, essentially, I'm printing an empty form. Also useful in some cases, depending what is the type of form. I could be, I don't know, a mortgage form, whatever. Of course, that would be too cumbersome to have. They have too many fields, and there are programs for that too. So that is not, I'm not suggesting that you should use it for that. But this, you can use it to fill in any form with this, whether it is merging with merging capabilities or on top of or printing everything or printing on top of the form. So in any event, this is a very advanced option, and pretty much everything is as explained here what to do, but it's just to setting up by clicking the buttons in the positions that are going to be replaced by the data. So I guess that's all. I'm gonna wait for a few seconds to see if you have any possible questions in the chat, and that will be next week. We'll have our class on the email system, and on Wednesday we're gonna have this special online class related to the personal financial builder, how to do as a business and how to use it, okay, and also the CRM companion, which could be an important tool for your affiliates, okay, something that you can give to your affiliates so they can manage their clients better. So it's going to be a very interesting class, but I don't want to keep you from your Friday classes, so I'm going to do it next Wednesday at 3 Eastern Time. I thank you all for everything, and I'm going to leave this thing a few seconds more, and then I'll be out. Thanks a lot. See you next week.